Hey guys, Ben here with Oddly Armed, and today we're going to be taking a look at the field stripping for the B&T APC223. So let's go ahead, get a close-up look at it, and start tearing it down. Kicking it off, things are pretty simple here. We're just going to pop our magazine out, and then it actually comes apart sort of similar to an AR-15. So we have our two pivot pins here. The rear receiver pin we'll go ahead and pop out first, so we just press that across. And if we pull that through, then we can go ahead and pivot down our lower receiver. And then this is going to be a bit tight here, but you can then pop out that front pin, and your lower receiver and your upper receiver will separate. And there's not a ton to see with the lower receiver, so you can see our controls in there. It's just all polymer down here. There's our trigger group, and it is pretty similar to an AR-15. And again, certain AR-15 components might potentially work in here, but not everything from what I've heard will work in this receiver. Then you can see our bolt catch right here. So as you lift up on those two ledges, that lifts up and catches the bolt carrier. Then we have our safety in the back here, and again, there's not really a whole lot to see. And there's a little storage compartment in the pistol grip, and that's basically it for the APC223 lower receiver. Moving back to the upper receiver, the next thing we need to do is remove the stock, which this is easy enough. All you gotta do is put some pressure and pull down, and the stock will pull right off the back. And there you can take a look at that buffer. So that's a hydraulic buffer basically at the front of the stock, and this catches the bolt carrier as it goes backwards and deadens the impact on the back of the receiver. So it makes for a very, very nice recoil impulse for the rifle. So we'll go ahead and set that aside, and then if you look underneath here, you can see our recoil spring. So this is easy enough to just pull out the back. And there we go. So our recoil spring comes out, and the front of the spring actually interacts with our charging handle. So that's going to be the next step. We pull the charging handle back to this area here, which is wide enough for it to pull out. And then you can kind of see right there, there is a little divot in there, and this actually pokes into the divot and holds it into the rifle while you're holding it. So at that point, now all we got to do is let the bolt carrier group slide out the back of the rifle. Now here we have our AR-180 style bolt carrier group, and this actually comes apart a little bit differently than other AR-180 style bolt carrier groups because there isn't a firing pin retaining pin. To take this apart, all you have to do is put the bolt all the way in the backwards position, and then you lift up on your cam pin, and it pops straight out the side, so you can see it split there, so you don't have to pull out your firing pin to be able to take out the cam pin. And then your bolt will just pop out the front right here, and then you can get a good look at that. I'm not going to take the firing pin out, but you can pop out this cross pin here to be able to get that out of there. But you can see it's a pretty standard AR style bolt. So you got your 7 lugs there, and then it is very, very nicely machined with smooth surfaces. So that's basically it, and then we have our empty bolt carrier. Now actually, one last thing for the upper receiver is taking out our gas system. So what we need to do is we need to press in this detent here and then rotate the gas plug, and then it's going to go ahead and pop out the front. So we can just pull on it, and I did a little bit of shooting with it, so it's a little bit tight, but our gas plug will come out the front there, so we'll take a look at that in a second. Then we just flip it over to the front, and our piston spring and our piston will come out the front of the rifle. So you can kind of see the piston here is going to be kind of like an HK416 or a G36 style, so it's got that little spigot out front, which as it travels backwards, it eventually releases gas. And then we have our piston spring here, and these fit together very tightly, so that actually makes a bit of a vacuum when you pull them apart. And then if we go ahead and pull up the gas piston, or at least our gas regulator up here, you can see the two settings. We have our suppressed as well as our normal setting. And then this just fits in there. And again, it's a very nice, precise machined fit. But that's basically all you need to do to disassemble the gas system. And now that we have the upper fully disassembled, let's just go ahead and take a look at it. So you can see our steel trunnion there in the barrel, which is screwed into the extruded aluminum receiver here. And then getting inside, you can see there's plenty of room to be able to clean in there. Except in the back here, this gets in the way a little bit when you try and reach into the receiver, but everything is absolutely precisely machined. It looks fantastic. You can see our markings there. Everything is very well done. And then if we flip it over to the other side, you'll see the Swiss Cross as well as B&T. Everything looks fantastic on it. And that's basically all we need to do to take a look at this rifle. And that is the APC223 fully disassembled. So thank you guys for coming along today and checking out the disassembly video on this and the field stripping. I really appreciate the support again, so please check out the review I have on the APC223 as well as some of the other stuff that I have going up. I appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys again here soon with another video.